You know an FTP?
File transfer protocol, but I don't know.
Right? So what you're doing there is that maybe Igor can do it. It's very simple. It's nothing to do with you guys. It's more of an IT thing. Maybe your warehouse already has an FTP folder and they'll tell you. So all you're doing is printing and dropping it in the folder and you're done. They're going to pick it up.
I apologize.
Email goes away.
No, what I want to understand is right now the big tickets are being emailed, but the problem is there might be big tickets from other warehouses too, right? In here? The print to PDF?
Correct, yeah.
But if we're doing print to PDF and then doing how do we segregate them as warehouses?
When you're allocating here, right? This Macy's orders was specifically assigned to warehouse 001.
Oh, okay.
So it knows that. So the big ticket itself is 001.
But we might have different warehouses going for the same customer.
That's fine. So that's another piece I gotta train you. I don't want to kill you now, but I'll show you how to do that.
That's something.
Oh yes.
That's very common.
It's very common.
Very common for our work.
Yeah. Yes.
Very common for our
Got
work.
it. So
Very
I
common
will
for
show
our
you.
work.
I'll have to show you. So in that case, I have to assign to an order what's called a multi-warehouse, right? It's a virtual warehouse.
Can you just show us quickly?
Yes.
I don't think is it really hard, or you have to create a default warehouse.
I have to create a virtual warehouse and then assign it to the order.
But it would be a different combination of the warehouses. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So hold on. No. Hold on. No. So it's a concept that we came up with. So I'm gonna call this. Let's call it 000. I know why. And I'll call this, since it's a common thing, I want it to come up first. And I'll call this virtual warehouse. Right? Save this, and this warehouse will be assigned. Do not go on this screen, whatever you do, and please select.
Okay, I get it.
All right? So what a virtual warehouse is, it's not a true location. It's a fake location, but I still need it. It's virtual.
Virtual, yeah.
So now when I enter an order, and I have to show you a different allocation program that kind of does this in a sense. Yeah, I didn't know you guys do all these things. Depends on what I got to show you now. So I can add an order. I'm going to do Macy's again. You guys leaving now? Is that the idea?
Yeah, usually we are, but this is important. I know, if invoice is just straightforward, we can look at the manual. I don't know, but
sure. So I assign a virtual warehouse to this, right? No, I'll show you. Invoicing is easy. I will give it a date, whatever. I'll save this. Doesn't matter. Oh, why did I put that on? I forgot the PO in the header. I can put it there. PW 5400. Whatever, 300 pieces, drop, right? It's okay. And then I'm going to do PW, what's the other one? Whatever, right? 600, doesn't matter. Drop line, right? So what's happened now, I have this order. I'm going to go back. I'm going to approve the order here, right? That I can approve it to take it off hold. So this order is assigned to a virtual warehouse. That's the difference here.
So when
I go into allocation, right, and I go here and I bring up control number 130, right? Add it to the box. Now here I cannot choose a virtual warehouse because it's not a true warehouse. I can choose this one and say show me, bring up the goods and allocate from inventory because this will be checked. Remember that? Only allocate me what I have in this warehouse. Boom, only this one. I can allocate. Right? I just say generate pick ticket. Only this style will get generated from 001 famous target. You come back in after you've done the allocation. You flip say, hey, my next warehouse is 002.
Okay, so basically
and then it'll only find the inventory now in this warehouse.
So basically, you're saying the warehouses, this drop down will only be enabled if you chose from the beginning at the order entry level a virtual warehouse.
Correct.
You with me? Only available to you only at that level.
Now here's the thing.
So always set it as a default.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We should set, because if that's a common thing that you're splitting orders all the time. If you're always splitting things, is there a customer?
That's a common thing. I think make it disclosed.
Is that really that common? I find that's weird because a lot of customers don't like same POs coming from multiple locations.
I think we should.
They hate that.
It's
just a thing.
I try to get like East and West Coast when I can or something because I don't like to have
I think we should do it as virtual warehouses default. I have a feeling that there might be a problem. Let the people who are allocating the merchandise be able to have a visual where it's coming from.
And you just have to keep selecting every single warehouse just to.
Well, there's another program called, see, I have to get into it, called a multi-warehouse allocation, which kind of gives you the picture in one. And you're able to make the decision without switching. But I don't have time to train you guys on all this stuff. That's the issue. We need time.
Okay, invoice.
Right? So yeah, so once I have the pick tickets 91 to 95, right? Now, the next step in the process, the warehouse ships the goods. You give them BOLs too? So you give them everything. You give them BOLs, what else? Not labels, you give them from the other system, or you give them from your system?
No, they do their own labels.
They do their own labels. Perfect.
If it's not EDI, they print their own.
If it's EDI, they print what?
If it's not EDI.
They print their own, which is a generic shipping label. Perfect. And when it's EDI, you get it from the portals and send it to them.
It's a generic label. And all customer needs special labels.
Yeah, Ross has a Ross label. Okay, good enough. Okay, that'll remain as is, because that can eventually come into AMT too, but no time for that right now. That's a lot of work to set all that up.
So generate pick tickets.
So once I already generated 91 to 95, remember that, right?
Okay.
Then all you're doing in invoicing, you're going to create invoice here. Now before you create the invoice, don't you need to update if the pick ticket was cut back, if there were shortages, if there was a freight charge, if there was a, don't you need to do all that? So who's doing that? After it's shipped, the warehouse notifies you, I sent you this, now here are cutbacks, or I didn't find all the goods, or here's an extra handling fee, an extra freight charge. Who's adding that onto the pick ticket so it gets invoiced properly? So in a sense, before you invoice, because invoice again is the easy part, you're going to go into what's called edit a pick ticket. Right? And you're able to bring up a pick ticket or a range of pick tickets in a sense, and I'll train you that later, because I'll be here when you do this. And you could say, you could edit a pick ticket, add freight charges. The BOL will be there because you generated it from AMT, it'll already be there, here. Put in a tracking number if you want, change the ship via to UPS, whatever you want. I could edit this. I could come here and say, oh, this style here, I told them 96. But really, they only shipped 84.
This is create an invoice?
No. This is editing a pick ticket because you have it.
How do you go there? How do you go there?
Allocation, pick ticket,
Pick a ticket.
edit pick ticket.
Okay.
This is prior to invoicing, because if you only invoice the pick ticket, it's going to invoice the full value, but nobody did the cutbacks. You don't want to do that. I don't know how you do that today.
Freight charges.
How do you guys do that today?
What?
Like, if you send a pick ticket to the warehouse
Yeah,
for 1,200 pieces and they only ship 1120, like, what do you do?
So you price the pick ticket.
Oh, just like this, edit pick
We're
ticket,
leaving
it's the same
soon.
thing.
We're
Okay,
leaving soon.
so
This
yeah.
big ticket invoicing is done.
We're done, I'm
also
done,
waiting for
I'm
that,
done.
yeah.
I'm done. So once I change the quantity and I drop line, right, it says, I'm just giving my pre-pack error and I hit update, I now edited my pick ticket from 96 to 84. So now my inventory is affected also, right, because I'm only shipping 84,
Okay.
right, and things like of that nature. Now when I'm ready to invoice, I just go to invoice, create invoice here, and I'm putting in the date of the invoice, because it's important. Maybe you want to backdate it, whatever it is you want to do. And you have, so we have a standard invoice means every pick ticket becomes an invoice. Get it? A bulk invoice means, like Macy's has 100 pick tickets and they want a bulk invoice by DC. So if you choose this option and I put in like pick tickets 100 to 330 and it finds the 10 DCs, it will consolidate and give you a bulk invoice for every DC. Versus a standard invoice, every pick ticket becomes an invoice. It depends on the customer has their own rules. And most of the time it's a standard invoice. I mean, it's here. So you would just put in 91 to 95, right? Or if you don't know the range and you just want to invoice all pick tickets related to this PO number, sure, put in the PO and say only invoice the one that was for this warehouse, because you may have another pick ticket for this PO at another warehouse that's not shipped yet. So we have to give you that feature too. So you can do that, or just say, if it's the simple way is just 91 to 95. Add that to the box, right? Then you also may have 101 to 130 added to the box, 165. So it's not in order. It could jump if you want to. And once you do that, you hit generate invoice here. System says, test. Sorry. Generate invoice. System says, okay, so it's telling me the SCAC codes are missing because this is an EDI customer. Right? So it's giving you a warning. But basically what you're doing here, you're just hitting, you wouldn't get this message. You say okay, and the system says generating invoices.
I have to talk to them before they
10 seconds later, it'll pop up and says invoice number is 101 to 107. And that's it. You can print the invoice. That's it, and it closes the big tickets invoice and it deducts it. Alright, that's basically it. Invoicing is one screen. It's very simple. Nothing crazy. I could teach you this the day of.
Okay.
Alright?
Okay.
But that's sort of like the flow that we need to get into.
Okay.
Any questions? Did I miss anything in the step that you do now? Did I miss any documents you print?
So I'm gonna kind of recap over here. What he's saying is first we have to do the auto entry. Always remember to static approve. Otherwise it's not gonna move to the allocation level. At the allocation level is when, okay, so we at the order entry level we're gonna always have a virtual warehouse so that we can split the warehouse. At the allocation level is when we can I'm losing count now. The allocation level is the one where we can do only from inventory on hand and not from what is in transit. Otherwise that might be a problem. We just do inventory on hand, otherwise there might be problems with that, right? And also we have to select the warehouse it's coming from. So we basically pull the inventory from that specific warehouse, that entry, and we can even allocate 10% more like you always do. Okay, you with me?
We do orders.
And for invoices that are going to FOB shipments, it'll be FOB warehouse. It'll be FOB warehouse. It wouldn't. No, it could not be anything else. It has to be FOB. Otherwise, it's going to take out for inventory. It would be a direct invoice, or it would be allocation still for FOB.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to that.
For FOB, it would still be allocation step?
Yes, you still have to allocate and make a pick ticket and then invoice it right away because there is no sending pick tickets to the warehouse, but it has to go through the same steps.
But if we've chosen FOB orders, it's going to come from FOB warehouse.
Correct. So for those specific orders, you're going to assign the FOB warehouse, not virtual.
No, the FOB order we assign to the vendor, and the vendor contact the factory.
No. But when we have to do the entry in here in this system for us to assign to the factor, for that purposes, we have to create the FOB warehouse, and the FOB warehouse is going to create the FOB invoices. Again, the order entry would be the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to select virtual warehouse. We're going to select in this case FOB warehouse.
Because that order is assigned to that warehouse.
And then it would become an FOB invoice.
Correct.
Okay?
Which is the same
and
process.
your allocation and everything would be very straightforward because you're going to say not inventory on hand. What would she have to select?
So in that case, you're going to use, for the FOB warehouses, you're not even going to use the manual allocation. You're just going to say rush allocate, meaning I don't care if inventory, just take this control number and generate me a pick ticket because it's FOB, I know it's good. I don't have to check inventory.
Okay, got it.
This is only for FOB. Do not do this for regular because again,
so
you're
you
stealing
do rush allocation and it's just for FOB. But remember, if your order is virtual, if it says by mistake virtual, or if it says a specific warehouse instead of FOB, then it would throw everything in a curveball for us.
The good part with that is that we actually allow you. Well,
don't allow. Don't tell them things.
No, I mean you can bring up the invoice and split the warehouse and it moves the inventory for you and re-update it.
Yeah,
if you made a mistake.
Yeah, but see, that's a lot of manual work.
Yeah, just keep that in mind though, because mistakes happen, but we're gonna do.
Okay, so we're gonna have only dedicated few people doing the order entry. Dedicated few people doing order entry. Or we can, like he said, by default, certain customers, what we can do is, let's say TJX UK is FOB, some of it. When the order entry is taking place, we select TJX UK FOB. Instead of doing TJX regular routed goods, we can have a customer that's just for FOB, dedicated FOB with the default for FOB. You with me or not?
So you have TJ which goes both ways.
Which go both ways, yeah.
You might want to check that because some of them don't like I don't know if it's okay with management because
but
now you have numbers on two different things. It
Why?
Might be okay. It might be okay.
For all I know, TJX T1 is going routed. Okay. T2 is always going FOB.
That's fine. What if they want to know what did I ship TJ Maxx as a whole? I guess you'll just choose two customers.
Two customers. Yeah, why not?
That's if you want to do that, sure, it's no issue.
But I think that would avoid a lot of problems for all I know.
Yeah, that's a good idea if you can manage that. I can't see any downfalls to it. Sure.
Yeah. But
Like,
anyways, that's just a
how many FOB customers do you have?
2.
Oh, it's only 2.
Oh, okay, I
So
didn't know.
good.
All I know
Yeah.
is FOB shipments.
It's like
that they
British
do.
Canada to
You
Jamaica.
can, 3 actually.
Oh, 3. Yeah, I'm thinking it's like
Australia.
15 or 10.